In the heart of India's corporate world, a calculated trap was set, but was it a lie or a chilling reality? It was supposed to be a safe haven, a place for ambition and growth. But within the polished walls of a major IT company in Nashik, a dark undercurrent was brewing. Allegations of sexual harassment, coercion, and religious manipulation paint a disturbing picture of a workplace gone wrong. You've heard the headlines, but there's a crucial detail you've likely missed, a hidden layer that complicates this already disturbing narrative. This is the story of the TCS Nashik case, a scandal that shook the foundations of corporate India. March 2026. The city of Nashik was celebrating Gudi Padwa, a festival of new beginnings. But for some employees at a prominent BPO, the celebrations masked a deeply unsettling reality. Reports emerged of a disturbing pattern of behavior, allegations of sexual harassment, and psychological manipulation. The first filed paint a grim picture, suggesting a systematic exploitation within the company. But how could such a situation fester within a supposedly professional environment? Were these isolated incidents, or part of a larger, more sinister design? The narrative began to unfold with accusations of unwanted advances and a hostile work environment. Employees, primarily young women, claimed they were subjected to inappropriate behavior and pressure. The question arises, what safeguards were in place, and why did they seemingly fail? The HR department, the supposed guardian of employee welfare, found itself at the center of scrutiny. Were they complicit, negligent, or simply unaware of the extent of the problem? As the investigation deepened, a more complex story emerged. It wasn't just about harassment, allegations of religious coercion and conversion attempts surfaced, adding a disturbing new dimension to the case. This wasn't merely about workplace misconduct, it hinted at a calculated attempt to control and influence vulnerable individuals. How could a corporate setting become a breeding ground for such alleged manipulation? What psychological tactics were employed to break down the resistance of the employees? The case took a dramatic turn with an undercover police operation. This suggests a level of seriousness and urgency that went beyond typical internal complaints. It implies that the authorities believed there was a significant criminal element at play. But what exactly did the undercover operation uncover? And how did it corroborate the victims' accounts of a deeply entrenched system of control and exploitation? The TCS Nashik case serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities that exist even in the most modern and seemingly secure workplaces. It forces us to question the effectiveness of corporate policies, the integrity of internal systems, and the true meaning of employee safety. The line between professional conduct and criminal exploitation has blurred, leaving us to ponder, in this intricate web of allegations, where does the truth truly lie? The first layer is context. Every documentary story begins before the moment people remember. There is a setting, a chain of decisions, and a public reaction that shapes how the event is understood. In the case of TCS Nashik's sexual harassment case, the important thing is not only what happened, but why the surrounding details made people pay attention. That is where the story begins to move from a simple summary into something more useful. It asks us to look at timing, location, pressure, and the way one moment can represent a much larger pattern. The second layer is what people often misunderstand. A single image or short clip can feel complete, but it usually leaves out the forces around it. Viewers see the result, not the build-up. They see the most dramatic frame, not the quiet details that made it possible. That gap matters because it changes the meaning of the story. When we examine TCS Nashik's sexual harassment case carefully, we are not just asking what is visible. We are asking what is missing from the first impression. Then comes the turning point. This is where the story stops being only about one scene and starts pointing to a bigger question. Why did this particular moment stand out? Why did people share it, debate it, or return to it later? The answer is usually not one simple fact. It is a combination of emotion, uncertainty, and recognition. People respond when a story feels specific, but also familiar enough to connect to something they already care about. Another important detail is the human tendency to look for a clean conclusion. We want a final answer, a clear lesson, and a single explanation that ties every loose end together. But strong documentary stories often resist that. They leave us with evidence, competing interpretations, and a reminder that public understanding is always incomplete. That does not make the story weaker. It makes it more honest. So what value can we take from TCS Nashik's sexual harassment case? The value is not just the event itself. It is the pattern around it. It shows how quickly attention forms, how easily context disappears, and how important it is to ask better questions before accepting the easiest version of a story. That is why stories like this continue to matter after the first wave of attention fades. In the end, TCS Nashik's sexual harassment case remains worth examining because it sits between fact and interpretation. We can see enough to understand why it matters, but not always enough to close the case completely. And that open space is where documentary storytelling becomes powerful. It does not tell us what to think. It gives us a clearer way to look. The TCS Nashik case is more than just a corporate scandal, it's a profound commentary on power, vulnerability, and the often unseen struggles within the modern workplace. If you're seeking to understand the complex truths behind such gripping true crime stories, be sure to subscribe for more in-depth documentary breakdowns. What other corporate secrets are waiting to be uncovered?